Good afternoon and a very warm welcome from a very warm Pokljuka, Slovenia, the northwest corner we are, and for the final day of racing at World Cup Tours. And a chance to look at that very location. Lovely little country, beautiful venue for the cross country, quite tight in the forest, the snow tongue which has been created, and here we are on our final day. It has been a busy day. First day with the sprints, yesterday with the aggressive pursuits, and today once again neck and neck racing in the relay. And as I said, very warm here in Pokljuka. It's 8 degrees, lovely with the sun on the tracks, a lot of the tracks in the forest as I did mention, and -2 degrees. An opportunity to have a look at the journey. It's 4 athletes over 6 kilometers. There's the huge climb. This descent here is tricky. A very sharp right-hander before the triple undulations, and there's nippy little climbs before you come in to shoot in the pro, and then the same track you shoot in the stand. Go back around again the 2 kilometers before you hand over to the next athlete in your team. Well, here we are, the start list. Germany, they were ranked as a nation #1 last year. They didn't take a victory last year. I think they'll change it this year. Have a look further down, Belarus. They're a good quartet. Last year they had a couple of bad relays, but I think much better this coming season. 23 teams in all, with Korea wearing bib number 23. Well, the fans have been out here all morning. It's quite a drive up from mostly the spectators and of course the athletes living down in Bled. Lovely village, a beautiful lake, which is well used as the afternoon warm down or the evening warm down, where the athletes jog around there. And here we are. The zeroing has already taken place. Everybody's zeroed their rifles. I think that was Sarah. It was Sarah Boudry dropping her ski there. Once they're clipped onto her feet, they should remain there. Now the Italian team, bib number 5 there, I think, and they must believe that they have an opportunity today. Because in the first World Cup of the relays, which was in Hochfilzen last winter, they took the victory. And there were 5 different relays, same again as we see romance in the spectator pens. 5 different relays, 5 different winners last year. The German team, the best they could do was second twice and third twice, no victories, and I think that'll change this year. So the German quartet looking very good with Hinz, Hildebrand, Hammerschmidt and Dahlmeier. Ukraine, third, a first last year and a second, enough to put them second overall, with Varvinets, Zima, Pigrushna and Merushkaya. French team, they've got to be feeling good. Strong team, and of course they've been hearing or watching what their teammates have done, and it's all very good. The Czech Republic, now this is another competitive team. So many teams here who, if they get it right on the shooting range, they can actually take the title today. Vitosi, Gontier, Rungaldier, and taking up the anchor, of course, is San Filippo. Polish team, Motarai, Gwizdon, Hoynish and Guzik. And once again, well, first leg at 21-year-old Motarai, the weak link, if you like, and many teams putting their slower and less experienced athletes on the first leg. Well, nervous moments as all 23 teams are lined up, ready for the starters' orders. "23 teams lined up, ready to go. Starters' orders, waiting for the gun to fire." Well, Borut Nunar, the chief of race, he's ready to release, and there they go. So 3 lanes, 3 columns of athletes. Very difficult to get through the pack if you're placed further down the field on your rankings from last year, but there will be an opportunity for your nation to move up, dependent on your ski speed, shooting ability, and of course keeping away from the penalty loop. And that is the issue today in terms of shooting. The 2 kilometers I mentioned, coming into the range for the prone, for the 2 kilometers skied, coming in for the stand shooting, for the 2 kilometers, hand over to your teammate. Now, if you miss any targets with your first 5 shots, all you have to do is hand feed 3 spare bullets, which are in your rifle stock. You have to hand feed them, reload, reposition yourself, and release the shot. That generally takes about 8 seconds. If you use all 3 spare rounds but still get the targets down, off you go, straight out of the range onto the track again. If any targets remain standing, unfortunately, it is the penalty loop. And if you managed to watch the men's race earlier, surprisingly, some big names actually went round the penalty loop. No wind today on the shooting range, so it's unexpected. Normally the wind throws the bullets over. There was a gaggle of coaches on the hill there to encourage and give information to their team. Well, this is how it started just a minute or so ago. Team 3, that's Anaïs Chevalier, really having an aggressive start. She wants to place herself at the front of the pack, and she's just doing exactly that at 1 minute 40 of racing. Well, the pace generally, it's an aggressive start for the first 55 to a minute 5, and then everything kind of settles down for a short while. And generally in these narrow tracks through the forest here in Pokljuka, you just get 1, maybe 2 columns on the steeper uphills of athletes. And you do expend a lot of energy. If you want to try and pass the athlete ahead, it's not easy. So you'll tend to find that where you slot in at this stage really is no possibilities to get past. Now, if you've been watching the last couple of days, this rise comes up to the high point on the course, and then it's a very tricky descent. And we did see a number of athletes falling in the men's race. When there's 23 athletes alongside each other, you don't quite have the space, you're a little more tense. And we saw some pretty bad falls actually. Gronman, the Finnish lead athlete, he actually flew through the air having skied into an athlete on the ground, and he flew quite a long way but managed to get back up and join the race again. Thomas Koss there just having a little discussion and a nod of his head. He used to race for the Czech Republic. And a chance to just have a look at the skis. The skis, well, depending on your height, but varying in length from 165 up to 185 within the field. Julien Robert, former racer himself and fantastic shot at the World Cup, just giving the advice on Chevalier, who is still out front for France. 55 up to 65 kilometers an hour down this descent. Now this is where we had a fall in the men's race. Let's hope that everybody manages to fight their way around this tricky technical bend without any problems. A lot more spacing in the women's field. The men were just one behind the other, but a little more caution there, and I think that's sensible. The coaches have probably briefed all their athletes, listen, no point in doing anything heroic on the technical section. Keep yourself safe, keep yourself out of trouble, and that buys you the best chance of getting to the range in one piece and ready for the shooting session. Well, just an update there. It's Pushkarshikova from her first ever podium yesterday, inspired, and that's for the Czech Republic leading the way at the moment. So I beg your pardon, Russia at the front. My captions are a little off there at the moment. I think it was Pokljuka. So I beg your pardon, my captions are telling me one thing, I'm seeing something very different. So yes, Czech Republic leading the way. And well, take my hat off to, I believe that was bib 15, I think it was, all the way up towards the front of the pack. And look at this, the spread here. We've got quite a spread of the athletes as they work their way in, and of course that is actually Kazakhstan and Vishnikaya. Now she came 13th yesterday with a perfect shooting and managing to put herself up into second position at the moment. Look at the tension and the stress that is always with you when it's tight pack racing like that on these narrow tracks. So 5 minutes 10 on the clock, and it's time to prepare. Certainly the athletes will be preparing mentally for what's about to come, the shooting range. I am impressed with the pace at the front. What a podium does to an athlete. Pokljuka inspired once again for the first time, finishing on the podium, third position yesterday. Now the first shoot, you must come into the range and land or shoot on the mat which corresponds to your bib number. The second time you come in, the range is wide open. You can fill in from the right, so from lane 1 all the way back to lane 30. First shot to Czech Republic. Kazakhstan with perfect shooting yesterday. Vishnikaya, she's looking very good again today. Kazakhstan first to drop all the targets. Maybe not the first to get out. Czech Republic the same, going very, very well indeed. Canada, 2 to go, 3 hits so far. Sweden, what a real pity, spare rounds having to be used with 1 target standing. Pokljuka leading Kazakhstan and just ahead of Russia in 4th position, 4.4 behind. All the big names appear to still be up there at the sharp end, although at the moment I'm not seeing Norway in that early group. In fact, Norway, that's another bad start for Norway, and down in 14th position. Well, just another opportunity to look at how to get it together so well. Left elbow going neatly down onto the mat, and the perfect 5 out of 5. Pokljuka leading the way. Vishnikaya deciding to take the lead after the first of the 2 shoots for the first leg athletes. Confirmation of the positions: Czech Republic ahead of Kazakhstan, just ahead of Russia. Germany still well in the race in 4th position. Austria, Sweden, Switzerland and Norway 10, 11, 10, 12, 13 and 14. I'll just check why we haven't got an 11. It's because position number 10 has doubled up. Vitosi and Innerhofer came out at the exact same moment. So back out on the track again, the same track of 2 kilometers. And Grigorin's in there. She had a great day yesterday until the last shoot. She'd hit 15 out of 15 and then just missed the last 2 targets in the stand in the pursuit competition. So fast and furious in the woods. And so many teams within 30 seconds. In fact, 18 teams within 30 seconds. So the race is well and truly on, and really open to any one of those 18 nations. So picking up again with the action as they came out into the woods. And it's great news if you're from the Czech Republic, leading the way at the moment. But it's all very close. 8 teams within 10 seconds at the sharp end of the race. Zdeněk Vítek got to be happy. There's Ludwig Gredler, I see in there, former World Cup winner many times over, scoping for the Austrian team. And the Austrian team going very well at the moment. Innerhofer just 15 seconds behind the lead. Well, this bend, it was a little icy earlier. The snow has been placed back on the track, but I would imagine as the race unfolds, that corner will become a little more icy, a little more difficult for athletes on leg 2, 3 and 4. Eva Karszczykova leading the way. Barvinets there to her left, our right, as we look down, leading the second column. Bib number 19 there, still at the front of the race, and that's great news for the local team. Taya Grigorin with perfect shooting, placing herself so far up, and France still well and truly in the chase there with Agnès Chevalier. For every climb on this entry to the range, you get a very, very brief recovery phase. And once again, you have to work around the corners, expiring more and more energy all the time. Germany still at the races, no problem whatsoever. Vanessa Hintz there, only 2.9 seconds behind. Now, is this Chevalier just backing off before the next shoot? She tends to shoot very well. She missed, in fact, 2 out of 20 shots yesterday. And that's always quite tricky in the pursuit competition, because you have to keep the pace. Sometimes you have to push above the pace in which is comfortable for you to stay with the action. And that's what happens in the relay as well. If you want to stay with the action, quite often the slower athletes have to ski in a zone which is very uncomfortable, which quite often puts you out a little when it comes to this, the all-important shooting part of the biathlon. Czech Republic out the front, being chased by 5 good names there. Russia, Kazakhstan, Belarus, Slovenia and Germany. And France just a little detached behind them. So most of the big names up there. For Norwegian fans, Norway down in 12th, 17 seconds off the lead time. Into the stand position. And rapid fire. Once the first shot is settled, then it can be achieved quite quickly, because you've got 3 spare chances. Germany, big surprise from Vanessa Hintz, having missed 2 already. Czech Republic missing 2 targets. Kazakhstan, it was 5 out of 5 last time. It's 5 out of 5 this time. Russia back in the race. Absolutely nailed those targets. 5 out of 5 gone down. Austria struggling. Swiss team struggling at the moment. Norway once again. I think it's penalty loops for Birkeland. That's a real pity for the reigning world champions. The Norwegian team struggling at the moment on the shooting range. Belarus having to use 2 of the 3 spare rounds, but managing to get the targets down. They will remain in the hunt. Grigorin, the veteran, if you like, of many, many years racing, charging out back into the woods. Norway 2 penalties. That is so surprising and so disappointing for those who have still to race. Hilde Fehn, Tira Lekov and Marta Olsbu. They are the world champions, and they now have found themselves with a huge amount of work to get themselves back into this race. So Kazakhstan, Russia, Czech Republic and the Ukraine taking the top 4 positions after the stand shoot. Well, an opportunity to have a look at the shooting skills again. Pokljuka, quite amazing. She's on a pulse of 200 just as she settled down for the first shot. That is quite incredible. She always does use a very high pulse rate to come in and fire the first shot. 12:26 as Kazakhstan the leaders departed the range, with Russia second place, Czech Republic only 10.1 seconds behind. Further down, Belarus, Switzerland, Slovakia 34, so the race is still wide open, without a doubt. And look at that, Team Norway with 2 penalty loops, second last at the moment, 22nd position. A lot of work to do with a deficit of 1 minute and 40 seconds. Birkeland, well, her season's been going very well. The girl from Sirdal, the southwest of Norway. Beautiful, beautiful location. Just not quite getting it together on the range. Welcome back to the action on the tracks. And look how tight this race is. The closing stages of the first of the 4 athletes to go round the tracks today. And it's Czech Republic leading. And a train of athletes close in behind them. I'm just getting a few misreadings on my computer, so sorry, just hesitating there. But it is the Czech Republic at the front of the race. Another great performance from the podium yesterday for Pushkashkikova. Now, leg 2, the athletes on the big screen, they're just watching the race to make sure that they get to the start on time. Well, over my years in biathlon, occasionally it does happen where an athlete doesn't get themselves organized to be there, to be handed over to. What a letdown for an athlete who's just given their best on the track. Tricky bend again. It's a left-hander at about 45, 50 kilometers. And then you spin very quickly to the right. There's still more descent, so recovery time in terms of breathing, but no recovery through the legs. You've got to work every moment to get the energy up into this next climb. Czech Republic attacking, trying to gain some more precious seconds out on the track and achieving just that. And what a turnaround of pace there. Leaving the range some 10 seconds behind and now leading the field. So that is a turnaround of 13 seconds for the Czech Republic. Great effort on the track. Taya Grigorin, what a performance. She had all the support yesterday, hitting 15 out of 15 and missing 2 out of the last 5. But today she's put that wrong right. In second place for Slovenia, Russia third, Kazakhstan fourth. Vanessa Hint struggling a little. We saw her having to use some spare rounds. Wonderful to see Japan there in 6th place. We want to see more nations in that top 10. Well, look at the body positions. Often it's a great idea to keep your hands out wide, to enable you to balance slightly better, to lower your center of gravity. Keep low is the key, but Grigorin standing quite high there, carrying all her speed into the corner and powering her way up into 2nd place. Well, what a fantastic day for the 36-year-old, and what a story to tell. Desperately trying to hold on to the Czech Republic here, but only a couple of seconds behind. Great news story day for the Czech Republic, and for Slovenia, chasing in 2nd place. Coming down into the handover area, the athletes are lined up. You have a 50-meter handover zone. 50, I should say, 40-meter zone, which you must touch the body of the athlete that you're handing over to. Perfect handover for Czech Republic, also for Slovenia. And some will take the poles off to keep them out of the way. That's Kazakhstan, followed by Russia. 15 seconds later, it's Germany, and Japan well and truly in the race, 17 seconds down. Well, just as the confirmation there, Czech Republic leading the way with the Slovenia second, Kazakhstan third. We're going to take another very quick break. We'll be back shortly with the action here in Pokljuka. Well, there's the positions. Czech Republic at the top, Slovenia, what a wonderful day for them, 2nd place at the moment. Kazakhstan, 3rd place, Russia, Germany, Japan, Belarus, Sweden, Ukraine, and Italy as your top 10. France, a little surprisingly, with only one spare round, down in 11th place. Well, Thomas Kos for many years has given so much to the Slovenian team, and all those years of dedicated coaching paying off at the moment. Coming up towards the 700-meter marker on leg 2. Sharvatova, Ertsen, Kistanova, top 3. So the action back on the track, 700-meter marker just being passed there by the leaders. And it's good news for the Czech Republic with Slovenia in there in second place, Kazakhstan third. We've got Hildebrand beginning to close down now, Germany pulling back a little time. Japan having lost now 4 seconds to this point. It's going to be quite a tough battle for the Japanese team. Breza there now, surely she's going to close down time and is doing so straight away. Zima in there for the Ukraine. The Italian team down in 10th position. Sweden, I expect great things from Sweden this season, especially in the relay team, but at the moment down in 11th position, only 24 seconds behind. Sharvatova just passing us, and I think it would be fair to say that the Czech Republic have put Sharvatova in second position. She is in form at the moment, the slowest athlete in the Czech Republic team, but she is a very good shot normally. 79th position in the sprint competition, and this will be a tough challenge for Sharvatova, but at the moment she's trying to keep it as flowing and efficient as she possibly can. But I think she'll be well aware that the big teams, the German team, the Russian team, closing down now, reducing that lead that she did have at the start of this one. Ertsen there. Anja Ertsen for Slovenia, also being hauled in by the slightly faster skiers. Now here's the second chasing pack, if you like. Breza has got the deficit down to 17 seconds. I can tell you it was 26, so a shift of 9 seconds, and that is all forward, so charging up the rankings. Kryuko hasn't missed a target yet here. The Belarus athlete, they're moving up swiftly into just a confirmation of that, into 10th position, just 21 seconds behind. So another one of these short, sharp climbs, dancing her way still at the front. It's the Czech Republic, it's Lucia Sharvatova. Ertsen still surviving in second place, but being chased down very, very quickly by Franny Hildebrand. German team coming straight back into it. The Germany were 15 seconds behind at the exchange, so pulling a lot of that deficit back on the track. Now then, as we have a little look at the slow-mo, the athletes composing themselves for this very small recovery. It's only 23 seconds prior to coming into your shooting mat. The range is wide open. You have to fill from the far right. Thomas Kos anxiously looking on at his athlete, Anja Ertsen, who's in lane number 2. 5 bullets in the magazine, 5 targets to hit. If you miss, and Sharvatova has missed her first, you have to then hand feed the spare rounds. Let's have a look at the shooting score. Sharvatova, that's a second one and a third. She's got 3 targets missed. She's got 3 spare chances. If she misses, it's on the penalty loop. Czech Republic on the penalty loop. On the other hand, Team Germany, they were handed over to in 5th position. Now, I think, out into 1st position. It's all gone wrong for the Czech Republic. Also for Kazakhstan, a great start. Well, It's all going wrong on the range for some of the athletes. Hildebrand leading the way by 3.5 seconds ahead of Russia, and Ukraine still in the race with their fantastic shooting at 9.1 seconds behind. Ertzen still holding Slovenia in 4th position. Gontier 28.5 behind. Belarus 35. The French team, I thought they may move up, but clearly some bad shooting there from Breza, 36.4 behind. And Sweden from 11th up to 8th. So it's a good news day after the 3rd shooting for Team Sweden. But this is the way to get the targets down, and fast. From Hildebrand, 5 out of 5. And very, very accurate too. Well, we'll take another very quick break. Back very, very soon to catch the action here. Well, Hildebrand, what a performance. She started some 15 seconds behind. She came into the range, not leading into the range, but managed to very quickly get the 5 targets, all of them down and out into 1st position. And Germany with 2 3rd places, 2 2nd places, and a 10th last year. At the moment, looking good for a victory in this new racing season. Once again, picking up the action, this time at 2.7 kilometers, having completed the first of the 2 shoots. It was good news for some, it was bad news for others. And unfortunately, the Czech Republic leading into the first of the 2 shoots here, the pro position. From 1st now down into 12th position, 1 minute 6 seconds behind. And that's a real pity for the Czech Republic. 2 times around the penalty loop. And often it's just the occasion to be leading in a World Cup. Often an athlete can kind of tie up, freeze up, and just panic a little instead of allowing the normal procedure to happen. But that's what makes a biathlon so attractive. Dealing with this, the physical, and controlling your breathing, your pulse rate if you can, and not only that, you've got the pressure of representing your country and trying not to let your teammates down. Akimova still 2nd place for Russia. Kazakhstan still in there, Ishtanova. But it's Hildebrand at the front. This is exactly where she loves to race, at the front. Well, the first race of the season, Hildebrand wasn't quite herself. She's lifted her performance here with a 5th in the sprint competition. Yesterday dropped back a little to 8th, missing 2 targets. But today she seems to be back on fire. I beg your pardon, it's Ukraine in 2nd and Julie Zima. Akimova now 12 seconds behind the Russian team in 3rd position. Ertzen still holding Slovenia in 4th, and well, for all the local spectators, that's a good news day for Slovenian biathlon. What about France? Well, 36 seconds behind. Breza has been racing so aggressively. Has she got any energy left? Well, she left the range at 36.4. Last check, she's 36.3, 1/10 of a second gain on Hildebrand, but it's not enough. So clearly running level in terms of ski pace, but Breza now needs to hit the targets in the stand position. And as we look at the slow-mos, of course, Breza is in wonderful form. Uroš Velepech, well, he's Slovenian, but he's coaching the Ukrainian team. He's doing a grand job too. Look at the lead now for Hildebrand into the fourth shooting, which is her second, and in the stand position. Snow covers come off, the ski poles placed between the skis, and she'll just be composing herself, getting the rifle into position as those chasing take their rifles off and get into position. You can see the spare rounds there all lined up. She didn't need any in the prone position, but she'll need one in the stand at least. Germany, Ukraine and Russia side by side. Hildebrand has missed 2. Hildebrand has missed 3. She's got 3 spare chances. I'm so surprised. Normally she manages to control the pressure. She's got the first. Well, it's great news, Dave, for the Ukraine. And off out in a flash. Julie Zima, the 26-year-old, off out there. Great discipline there from Hildebrand. She had 3 chances, 3 targets remaining, and she managed to get them. Akimova, it shows on the graphic 2 chances left to get the target down. I'm not sure she has. Now look at this, Breza. She was 36 behind. She's now 19 behind, but a new leader as well. So France straight back into the race. Germany second place, and now of course Ukraine leading the way on 30 minutes, 19.5. Three bullets left, 1 target remaining for Slovenia. Italy struggling on the range, and is that Italy on the penalty loop? I think it is. That's them really reducing their chances of a podium, if not eliminating their chances of a podium. Well, another quick break here, but we'll be back for the second half of the race soon, coming up soon. Well, just confirmation there. It's all changed really each time into the range or exiting the range. We seem to have a new team taking the lead, and of course it's Ukraine leading the way at the moment, ahead of Germany, ahead of France and ahead of Belarus. Yulia Zima showing the rest of the world what it's like to hit 5 out of 5 fast. Hildebrand, you just sense, will close the gap. I know that the pictures foreshorten her position in relation to Zima, but she's certainly closing the gap and skiing so fast. Breza, the 20-year-old, is without a doubt closing gaps down as well. Well, leg 2 here, it's all change on the range once again. It was the Czech Republic leading into the shoot, but that has changed. It's now Ukraine leading the way ahead of Germany and France in third place. Breza, a 20-year-old, 3 days of racing, doesn't appear to be tiring, but both Germany and France closing the gap from the range on Zima. So the chase is very much on. It was 15.9 seconds for Germany, it's now 8.2, and it was 19.9 for France, and it's now 14.4. So it's quite possible that Germany and France will haul in and maybe pass Ukraine. Zima will just have to dig deep and try and hold the pace. Well done, Sweden, still there at the races. 13 just going past Sweden. That's Selina Gasparin. The Swiss team, in fact, made up of Ayita Gasparin, Selina Gasparin, Lina Haki, and then Elisa Gasparin. So 3 sisters in the one team. Well, Breza, it's been a wonderful outing here in Pokljuka with her first ever podium, second place in the sprint. Dropped back a little yesterday, mainly through her shooting ability, missing 3 yesterday. Well, did I doubt Yulia Zima? I think I did, but she's proving me totally wrong. She's picked up the pace as Hildebrand got it down to 8. Her coach has told her that very story, and she's managed to find another gear. She's pressed a few turbos and opened up the gap again. Well done to Ukraine. Hildebrand really fighting hard. I think she put a lot of effort into the last rotation of 2 kilometers, expiring a huge amount of energy. And as for Breza, she's put a huge amount of energy out as well, but in the previous 2 days. And I think just a little tired today. Well, that's Bib 11. Of course, it's Pokljuka, one of the most attacking skiers out there on the track. Pokljuka, Belarusian, followed by Russia, Akimova, 48 seconds behind. Selena Gasparin, here she comes. She skis fast. Often she hits the targets, and at the moment keeping Switzerland well and truly in the running. To hand over to the very talented young athlete Haki, so the Swiss team will be expecting maybe to remain right up there with the best. So it's coming in for the second exchange. That wasn't the best ever handover I've seen. You want to be moving to carry your energy, or the energy of the athlete coming in, and quite a poor changeover, losing some seconds. But Ukraine, Germany coming in now, need just some contact being achieved. Chased very, very closely by France. So France only got 3 seconds to pull back. Yes, job done for Ukraine. Uroš Velepech. I used to race with Uroš, and then when he retired from biathlon, he went into triathlons and then into his coaching pathway with the Slovenian team, and did a lot of good there. And of course other teams saw his potential to lift their teams as well. And of course at the moment, Ukraine leading the way. Belarus 4th position, 43 seconds behind. Now the gaps are beginning to open up just a little. And I need to just have a look further back down. Schlepsova now being handed over to. Schlepsova, we have to look back some years actually to when she was at her best. Back 2008, 2010, she had about 5 victories. I'm looking the wrong way. Got a smack in the face. That was terrible changeover. This one an awful lot better. And that's... I am surprised that teams don't practice this a little more. It's a very short handover box, but if you stand at the back, double pull, pick up some speed, you can pick up the energy. Standings after the second exchange: Ukraine, Germany and France, the top 3, separated by 17.2 seconds. Well, the third leg for Ukraine. It's another good athlete. Hasn't missed a target yet here in Pokljuka. 15th in the sprint competition. Dropped back a little to 27th, and that's Olena Pigrushna. Chased by Hammerschmidt, Marin Hammerschmidt, the 27-year-old from Ruhpolding, and being passed now by Celia Emonier. Skate touring, double dancing her way up the hill. And the coach is just passing on the all-important information. You really need that as an athlete. You need to know, are you closing the gaps? Is the athlete ahead of you a little faster? And you can adjust your strategy accordingly, or dig deeper if you can, to close the gap ahead of you. Well, what a race. We've seen a number of different nations leading the way here. At the moment, it's still Ukraine ahead of Germany and ahead of France, although France just behind here, behind Pigrushna. The France have now, Emonier has definitely on the track past, of course, Hammerschmidt. And Uroš Felipec, not showing much expression, but he must be delighted with his team. Ukraine at the moment leading the way. Pokljuka, what a performance here. She's had the previous 2 days, yes, 3 days of racing. She hasn't missed one target out of 30 shots fired. She hit 10 out of 10 in the sprint competition. Yesterday, she hit 20 out of 20 in the pursuit competition. But her only weakness is her ski speed, not the fastest at the moment on her skis. Her ski form has deserted her a little at the start of the season. Maren Hammerschmidt, the girl from Ruhpolding, she'll love it after Christmas. Well, the second World Cup after Christmas. Of course, it's Oberhof in the week after, first week of the new year, where the races will be going. And then down on to Ruhpolding. And then over across the border down into Italy over the Brenner Pass and to Antholz for the 3 World Cups after Christmas. Sharova, Belarus ranked 11th, really are putting it together this new season. Pisharova 39th 2 days ago, 46th yesterday. Not the fastest on the track, but she shoots well. And 13, this looks like Haki, 19th on day 1 here. Yesterday she was 50th, and that's largely through missing a huge amount of targets. She missed 7. She'll hope she can hit 10 out of 10 today and keep Switzerland well and truly in the race. Well, is that a little relaxed look? Is that a all-confident look, or is that a look of fear? I'm not sure. But let's hope it can go well for Maren Hammerschmidt. She only missed 2 yesterday, moving up from 41st to 24th in the pursuit. So leg 3, first shoot. Ukraine, France and Germany. Breathing just trying to be controlled for the first shot. Big surprise, that's the first shot that Pokljuka has missed here out of 30 fired so far. She's settled, calmed her nerves. Oh, she's missed the 5th as well. Missed the 1st, missed the 5th. And an opportunity for that very relaxed facial expression of Hammerschmidt to rapidly hit all 5 targets and move from 3rd into 1st. So Germany now at the top of the field. The fight is on for 2nd place. It is going to be Ukraine ahead of France. If this target goes down, Belarus an opportunity. Well, what a huge amount of time there from Celia Emonier. Just making sure that final shot counts. So important to get the targets down. If she hadn't got the target, you turn to the right, round a penalty loop. She saved herself 21 seconds or more. Now, just try and update you. Norway making something of a comeback. It was awful for Norway. They were 22nd. Tiril Eckhoff now has brought them back up into 8th, 9th position. But we'll have to wait and see after this shoot how it's looking. Finland, great day at the races for Finland. Of course, Mäkäräinen taking them, lifting them way back. Laukkanen, I should say, lifting them up after a very strong performance from Mäkäräinen. Ranked 21st Finland, so this will change their start position at the moment. 5th position. Great job from Finland. Schleptsova 106 we can see behind, and Tiril Eckhoff, she's tried to shoot fast to pull time back, but having to use spare rounds. Italy must feel a little disappointed. It started well. They won the first relay race last year. Norway, Tiril Eckhoff has got the targets down in a huge huge rush to get out of the range. Hammerschmidt from 3rd to 1st after the first of her 2 shoots. So picking up the action again at 700 meters distance from the shooting range, or 2.7 kilometers for each of these athletes on leg number 3. Let's just remind ourselves, Germany came into the range, Hammerschmidt in 3rd place. She shot beautifully well, went from 3rd to 1st. This is her now at the front. She's got quite a margin. Last time I saw, it was 21.7 seconds, beautifully controlling the skis around the bend. She's from Ruhpolding, and I'm sure she's skied so often on the lovely little downhill slopes there behind the village and further out towards the shooting range. Lovely areas for alpine skiing in Ruhpolding as well. Honig, we saw his image there, never shows much expression, but he must be quite delighted at the moment when he knows that the next athlete to go, I know there's still one shoot left here for Hammerschmidt, but when Dahlmeier takes your anchor leg, you've got to feel a little bit happy inside. Dahlmeier doing no wrong here so far at World Cup 2. So the chasers, it's France, Emonier. She didn't shoot so well, still running, well, it was 21.7 at the last check. It's still 21.1, so no real change. Pokljuka, as I mentioned, we've seen her a lot faster than this. I remember the World Championships in Novo Mesto. She was absolutely on fire on her skis, but at the moment, the form on skis not really there. Lovely images as you rise, come over the rise, try and keep a little bit of pace to climb up the next hill as far as you possibly can. And this is what I was saying about very little rest on this track. This is the fast descent where you sweep around to the left, and I think that Hammerschmidt does this so well, taking the more risky inside line, taking it quite tight on the entry to that bend, but supremely confident. Well, I didn't know what the expression was previously, but it's the same expression. It worked last time. She'll be hoping it works this time. Stand shoot coming up. So this is the last time into the range for Hammerschmidt. She's done an exceptional job so far. She'll be hoping securing her place in this team for many more relays to come. And now just to settle for the stand shoot. So Emonier, Pokljuka chasing 2nd and 3rd at the moment. I was just about to say that's the way to do it, but she's been aware that France and Ukraine are landing right beside her. She felt the pressure. Oh my word. 2 attempts at the 5th target, 2 misses. And on the 3rd time of asking, Hammerschmidt has got the target down, an opportunity for Emonier. She's shooting so fast, she really has pulled some time back now. So France very much still in the race. Dorana Baer taking the anchor leg for France. Laura Dahlmeier taking the anchor leg for Germany. We are in for a cracking finish to this race. And now, Laukkanen has done a magnificent job. Pokljuka holding her nerve this time, but Laukkanen looking for a 4th position. Needs to get the targets, as always, all important targets. Belarus, targets are going down fast and furious. 5 out of 5 in about 24 seconds for Belarus. Norway just coming in. The reigning world champions. Not only that, but the reigning world champion, Tyrell Eckhoff, I should say, in the sprint competition. Laukkanen really struggling. Schlepsova really struggling to hit the targets. Czech Republic struggling as well. Finland, Laukkanen in 5th position, 4th position into the range. She'll drop right down, I would say, to 7th, 8th position. Tyrell Eckhoff very quickly getting the spear round in the chamber. She'll release it quite quickly, I would have thought. She needs to. Well, Eckhoff is really, she's charged so fast around the track, she can't get her breathing under control. And she's missed it. Absolutely missed it. It's not the best day for Norway. Last year they had an 8th, a 5th, a 5th. One they didn't take part in, that was before the World Champs, and they won the World Champs. Confirmation then after the 6th shooting, it's Germany, France, Ukraine, followed by Belarus, Switzerland, Czech Republic, Russia and Finland. So 4.7 kilometers, not much further till they hand over. Hammerschmidt trying now to close down on Amonier. She was leading into the range. Her shooting let her down and has given France that opportunity to take the lead. Now Laura Dahlmeier will be watching this in the stadium. She's only a few minutes now before she starts her race. I wonder what she's thinking. Will she be thinking absolute confidence? That Dahlmeier, well, only 5 seconds behind the French team. Pokljuka, a deficit of 20.4 there, you can see, but still 3rd position. That's another good day for the Ukrainian team. They had 1 second, well, 1 first, 1 second, 1 third last year, a 9th and a 5th in all of the World Cup racings. Of course, Ukraine taking silver medal at the World Championships in Holmenkollen, Oslo, last March at the World Championships. There's Laura Dahlmeier. There's Dorana Baer just behind her in the teal-coloured suit. And there's her technician just making sure that the skis go on. They need to get the skis on quite swiftly because it won't be long before the 3rd leg athlete comes in for the handover. Here we are just at 5.4, so 600 meters to go. That is all. Emonier is desperately trying to keep this lead, certainly keep it, hopefully extend it. I think it might be running around about level. Hammerschmidt's trying to press harder, but not making much effort, she's making a huge effort. Not many inroads into the deficit. In fact, it's extending. Emonier told to increase and press harder and make this gap bigger. She's doing just that. Well, it was 5 seconds. And I must say, Amonier really does seem to pick up some time on the downhill section. Pokljuka now told to get a move on. She really is picking up her pace, getting into the swing of things here. 21 seconds behind. Anchor leg for the Ukraine is, well, the least experienced in their field. Merkushina, the 21-year-old, very little World Cup experience, 77th in Östersund. She hasn't raced here yet. And there's Jean-Paul Giacchino just looking on. He'll be happy that the pace has been picked up. You can just hear the breathing there from Celia. Gasping for oxygen, taking herself to the absolute limit, extending her lead to make sure that Dorana Baer has a big safety comfort zone ahead of Laura Dahlmeier, who will be chasing down. What a great job so far from France. They haven't done much wrong, the occasional hiccup on the range, but with fast skiing and mostly accurate shooting, it's the French team at the front, and who better to hand over to than Marie Dorana Baer. So France out first, quite a large lead now. It was 5 seconds after the range. That's been increased, then it decreased. Now it's 14 seconds. So 14.2 that Laura Dahlmeier must pull back if she wants to stand at the top of the stadium, top of the podium. Ukraine, 3rd position, another poor changeover. Well, maybe that's one aspect of the relay. The rest is going great. That is one aspect they could improve on. Well, we're going to take our final break here to catch up on the action on the anchor legs at the World Cup in Pokljuka. Well, just looking at the slow-mo there with France, Germany, Ukraine, Switzerland, the top 4. Now, the French handover, you've got to touch the athlete you hand over to prior to the little red line there. A member of the jury sits and watches, but it was close. And Monnier just touching Duran Abert just before the line. Hopefully they've got away with it. I have seen teams pulled back. I was pulled back once, but photographic evidence showed that there was contact. Duran Abert, you can see the pace. She's got the fresh legs. Team 17, she's just passing Lithuania. Well, Finland, they were in 4th position. They're now in 7th. Laukkanen really struggling on the range. So the final leg of our 4x6 kilometer World Cup, the first of 5 this year. The relays, they're always exciting. They're often changing lead. We've seen that today. It's now France at the front, but look who's chasing. Who would not be nervous with Laura Dahlmeier chasing you down with only 5 individual races this year? She's won 3 of them. She's come second once, and she's had 1/4. So her bad day hasn't been that bad at all, and she's chasing France at the moment. Ukraine in 3rd position, 21-year-old, least experienced, hasn't raced here yet. This is a huge moment for her, and I do feel really sorry for her that your World Cup introduction and Uroš Velipec saw by his athletes, Merkushkaya's sort of body language that it's not going that fast on the track, but he knows the way she skis. He knows that she is a good biathlete, and he'll desperately hope she can hold on to 3rd position. So the fastest descent on the track. It is a little icy now on the inside. Duran Abert, normally exceptionally good on the technical sections, especially the speed sections in World Cup racing. Dancing her way around, trying to carry as much speed up into the next rise as she possibly can. At the exchange, it was 14.2 seconds. We'll get a chance here to see what's happening behind. What's Laura Dahlmeier managing to do? Is it closing? Is it extending? Is it staying level? I would imagine Dahlmeier's not getting too overly stressing at the moment. She won't want to put too much out in terms of performance. At this moment, she'll probably keep it until after the first shoot. So I wouldn't expect the gap to have closed too much. Well, there it is, 11.1. It was 14 seconds. So maybe as expected, Dahlmeier just playing it nice and cool, keeping within herself. Merkushna, I'm impressed. She was handed over to 20 seconds behind, and now it's only 26, so she's only lost 6 seconds. Great job. And I hope that she can keep that little pace going. Duran Abert, beautiful race line, taking it very wide to the right. Well, a little stumble there. Is she feeling it in her legs? She had an outstanding race yesterday. Duran Abert from 17th position yesterday. It's a long way back she started. She moved all the way up nearly onto the podium. 4th position, missing only 1 target. Kukalova back in the action. This race is still wide open. Kukalova on the hunt there, anchor leg for Czech Republic. First of the 2 shoots for France. Duran Abert coming in for the prone shoot. Some 10, 11 seconds later, we'll see Dahlmeier slotting in right beside her. And Jean-Paul is just letting his coaches know on the track what's happening. And it's good news with Dahlmeier at the, so I should say, with Duran Abert at the front, but the gap is closing back to Dahlmeier. Oh, listen to the breathing. Duran Abert desperately trying to get some breathing control. 2 down for France, 1 down for Germany. 3-2, 4-3. Almost shot for shot. 5 out of 5 for Duran Abert. The last shot missed for Well, I am surprised. Laura Dahlmeier just must have flinched. She must have thought, I've got to get out of here fast to join the front of the race. She's got the 5th target with just 1 spare round, so she's still well and truly at the races. Merkushna. Oh, that is outstanding. She's only 21-year-old. No wonder she's been brought in or allowed into this high-level team. Uroš Velepech totally believing in her. She has not let him down. Ukraine still in 3rd place. Now, there was quite a big gap. There was a huge gap, in fact, all the way back to Kukalova, Gasparin, and Jurkovic. So, Kukalova. Her team orders have been to move up the ranking, get the Czech Republic from 4th to 3rd at least. Job done. She's back. Her shooting wasn't there yesterday. She missed 0, 3, 1, 1 out of 20 shots. Oh, and what a poor day. That's such a pity for the Swiss team. Lisa Gasparin. It's all gone wrong. Alongside her, it was Jurkovic, Daria Jurkovic for Belarus. She managed no problem. But huge problems now on the range for Switzerland. Well, this was Dahlmeier. She hit 4 out of 4. The 5th shot, she realized that Duran Aber had hit 5 out of 5. I think she paused, flinched, or maybe even started thinking about the pressure, and she missed. That was an opportunity to see how well it was put together by Ukraine. Confirmation after the 2nd last shoot. It's France, 9 seconds ahead of Germany, ahead of Ukraine, 22 seconds behind. Well, 2.7 kilometers along their journey, the athletes on the last leg, the big names in a lot of the teams, and not much bigger than Duran Aber. No bigger this season than Laura Dahlmeier. 3 wins, 1 second, 1 fourth. Hasn't done much wrong. And so far, so good. She left the range, 9 seconds behind. She's making a little impression on that, and that's got to be good news for Dahlmeier. Merkushna, 21-year-old, I keep saying it, but it's to be brought into the team, to be asked so much. The anchor leg is such a pressure position for any athlete to cope with, especially when it comes to team. It's okay racing for yourself, but when you've got your 3 athletes before you, having given everything and put you up to that position, it's an awful lot of pressure to hold that position, especially when you've got Kukalova chasing you. She's looking good today. She managed her shooting very well on the range. Down to 59 seconds. She left the range at 1 minute and 3 seconds. She is shifting on the track. Duran Aber took a very good racing line down this hill. Laura Dahlmeier is exceptional in her downhilling skills as well. Maybe the best, in my opinion, in the whole field. She's just got, from her alpine skiing experience and mountaineering skiing experience, she's so smooth on those skis. Well, she's gained some seconds on that descent, or was it on the energy from the bend into the next climb? She certainly has pulled time back, and that's bad news for the French team. France last year, in all 5 relays, they only won 1. They had a second once. They had a 5th, a 6th, and a 7th. So it is a good start to the season. Merkushna. Oh, she looks very tense. Desperately trying to hold on to that 3rd place. Great job. Merkushna. The pace she set the first time around, it was fast, it was furious. And I think she's struggling a little now. She, as usual, if you punch that first lap too hard, it catches up with you later in the race. Talking about catching up, Laura Dahlmeier has caught up with Duran Aber. Well, the technical skills, Laura Dahlmeier, she gets so much energy in and out of corners, and those skis are gliding beautifully well under her ski boots. Dahlmeier, no hesitation whatsoever, just in an instant past Doran Aber. So for the first time, sorry, not the first time in her final leg, taking Germany to the top of the field. With the stand shoot still to go, we've so many times seen strange things happen on the final shoot. It's the two of the huge names in biathlon in the women's field. Dahlmeier going to be shooting alongside Doran Aber. We could not have wished for a better outcome at this stage. Who can hold the nerve? Who can get the breathing under control? Who can hit the 5 targets? The wind is just a little from the left. You could not make it up. That is absolute perfection. At the moment of greatest pressure, both of them held their nerve, held their breathing, held their precision, and knocked all five targets down. Well, which way is this race going to go? Doran Aber is going to try and find something special to hang on to the faster skier in Dahlmeier. Merkushna, I think you have secured your place in the Ukrainian first team at the World Cup relay, but Kukalova could pull some time back in terms of skiing, and that's why Merkushna shot so fast, realizing that Kukalova was closing her down on the track. She will have a decent lead. Will it be enough? Well, the race is on. I think Kukalova will believe that she can pull this deficit, this time back. Well, what a race. Well, confirmation, what a race, holding the nerve there. Germany, France, Ukraine and the Czech Republic. 7 seconds to France and 25 back to the third place, Ukraine, and 52.8 back to Kukalova in fourth position. Kukalova will be given the orders, there she is, that you must close that gap. It's a huge gap. Well, it's a 27-second gap, but she may just believe that she can close it. I think at the front, Laura Dahlmeier, Doran Aber, they know each other so well. They know their strengths. They know each other's weaknesses. This may well be a little tactical initially. And at the moment, Doran Aber, for me, is in the better position. We saw that Dahlmeier is the faster skier previous lap, so why not tuck in behind her if your name is Doran Aber? Well, you can see behind them the bib number 2, of course, Merkushna. It is very much foreshortened. Remember, she left the range 25.1 behind. And just as they're skiing around with just a little bit of this 1.3 kilometers left of this first relay, it's been an incredibly exciting relay. And Merkushna, I think that indicates the pace at the front. The pace at the front is slow. It is tactical at the front, but Merkushna is in full knowledge that Kukalova is trying to close the gap down. 27 is a huge, 27 seconds, a huge gap to close. Kukalova's trying. Without a doubt, she's trying. Just a confirmation that it is, yes, of course, we've seen Germany, France, Ukraine, Czech Republic fourth. Further down, Team Norway really have come back after shooting number 8. Ulsbu has got Norway up into 6th position. Remember, they were down in 22nd position after the first leg, so they've really got back into the race. Russia started quite well, were there or thereabouts for much of the race. They're now down in 8th position. Sweden I think, have done very well so far, but 9th position at the moment, and Switzerland down in 10th position. Well, we missed the break. Dahlmeier was just playing around with the pace, and she really attacked the previous climb. She's really attacking this climb, and I think that's the perfect strategy. It's not over yet, but Dorana Baer hasn't much more to give. And once you've got a gap, a psychological gap, it's very difficult for the chasing athlete to do much about the return of that gap. Dorana Baer, 6 seconds with 600 meters, unlikely unless Dahlmeier falls. Well, you can hear the coaches telling every single second that is happening behind. Merkushina has to keep the pace. She lost a little bit of time on the descent. The coaches are telling her that Kukalova is closing down, but I don't think she's closing the pace down fast enough. Laura Dahlmeier, 3 victories, 1 time second, 1 fourth, and looking very, very good for the win in the women's relay, the first of the relays. And Dorana Baer, I think she'll be a little disappointed that at the moment, 3 days of racing, it seems to have really tired her out, especially this 3rd day. She put a huge effort in yesterday, Dorana Baer, to move from 17th up to 4th. That was an outstanding effort in the pursuit competition, and I think that's left her legs just a little weary for the all-important relay today. Germany with just some 50 meters to go. 1:11:23 on the clock, and Dahlmeier on the anchor leg. It's a great news day for Team Germany. They didn't win last year in all 5 relays. They've taken the first victory today here in Slovenia. Germany first, France coming across the line in second. Dorana Baer saying, I tried, but there was nothing I could do about the pace of Dahlmeier today. She'll be thinking, maybe I'll get her the next time. We'll have to wait and see. So the French quartet delighted, and what about this performance? Ukraine holding her nerve, Merkushina on the range, total confidence, skiing very, very well. Remember, she was only 77th at her first World Cup outing in Östersund, and today she's kept the Ukraine on the podium. And delight there for Ukraine, and the big name Kukalova in 4th position, just off the podium, and it all went just a little wrong on leg 2 with Lucia Shorvatova. Nothing that she could do, twice around the penalty loop, losing a huge amount of time, and very difficult to pull that time back for Czech Republic. 56 seconds behind they finished. Germany, France, Ukraine, and the Czech Republic all home and finished their intense 3 days here. They'll be looking forward to the drive across to Novo Mesto and their next race on, I believe, Thursday next week. Well, there we are, the bronze medal winners today. Putting it together mostly so well on the range. The importance of good shooting. The Ukrainian team only using 3 spares in the whole entire race. Norway, well done, Ulsbu, Marte Ulsbu, and Tyrell Ekhoff put in a great leg as well as Hilde Fenn. But they were 22nd after the first leg, and it was a huge amount of work to pull back. Russia slotting in there 2 minutes 8 seconds behind, and a little semi-fight for the line. Poland, followed by Sweden. Well done, Sweden. Their ranking was 9. They're up into 8th position. That's got to be a fairly good news day for Sweden, using 6 spare rounds. But really, the day belonged to Germany. It fluctuated. They didn't start so well, but they certainly finished very well, using 9 spare rounds throughout the whole race. Hildebrand had a couple of nervous moments. Very nervous moments. 3 targets missed. She needed all 3 spare rounds, and she managed to hold it together and get them, allowing Germany to come through later and take the victory. Well, it's been quite a full 3 days. The sprints, men and women on Friday, the pursuits yesterday, intense racing, and today once again. But the shortest distance for the women, 6 kilometers each of the athletes undertaking today. And Switzerland ranked 13 last year. They've got to be happy. They would have been happier being up 5th or 6th. That for a long part of the race they were up in 6th, 5th, sometimes 4th, but they've finished in 10th position. Canada ranked 12th, finished 11th. Of course, the ranking is from their positions last year. I think Italy will be disappointed. They took this, the first World Cup relay last year. Today, it didn't go well in the range. It didn't go well in terms of results, and they're 12th position. Finland in behind them. Poor old Finland. They were up in 4th position at one point, but they've dropped back down into 13th. Kiskola taking the anchor leg there for Finland. Well, there's Dorana Baer just showing she couldn't do much about it. Laura Dahlmeier is on fire. And Merkushna, she might have secured herself a regular spot in the Ukrainian relay team. Well, it's the teams further down the line, and I'm a little surprised with the Austrians. Lisa Theresa Hauser, although if you're handed over to quite a long way back, it's very difficult to make time up, but Austria using 10 spare rounds. They didn't actually go on the penalty loop, but the finishing stages here, the athletes will be those on the podium will have a lot of commitments in terms of press conference, but we must move on rather swiftly with more competitions here in Eurosport this Sunday. So yes, as I said, plenty more action on Eurosport this weekend. I've thoroughly enjoyed the relays here, but there we are in the small screen. It's already underway actually up in Lillehammer, and David Goldstrom will be here with you very soon to give you the update and carry you through the rest of the competition. Thanks for your company. My name's Mike Dixon. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you'll join us next week in Novo Mesto for more fantastic biathlon racing. Thank you and goodbye.
Dla Andrzeja do Sezonu,